Hi there, welcome to the Small Business Coffee Break, the series where we take a few minutes to work on your business, not just in it. Today we're talking about what the difference is between an employee and an independent contractor with Zachariah Evangelista, partner at Sir & Associates PLLC. Zach has over 10 years of experience helping small businesses build better foundations and protections to help them grow. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get into it. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding as to what is an employee, what is an independent contractor, and what are best practices when you are going to use independent contractors.
Okay, so there's a lot there. First, to the example, there is that misconception that the 1099 is a cure-all. 1099 isn't what determines whether or not they're an independent contractor. Being an independent contractor determines that you use the 1099.
Okay.
In terms of filing that. So what is an employee, what is an independent contractor? There's a very long test, and there's a few different types of legal tests, and this is one that falls into the category of totality of circumstances, which just means, again, litigators make a lot of money, because there's very few bright line rules in the law as there are, but this is the grayest of gray.
Right.
Totality of circumstances. So there's, off the top I can't remember exactly, but about a dozen or so factors that the court will look at, or Department of Labor or the IRS, depending on who's concerned on whether or not they are properly classified as an employee or independent contractor. The factors essentially come down to control.
Okay.
So the more control you have, the more likely they're an employee. The more independent they are, the more likely they're an independent contractor. So things like schedule. Who sets their schedule? Whose equipment do they use? Are they paid by project? Or are they paid by hour? Are they, how is their pay? Do they have other projects at the same time? There's some very clear independent contractors that we're used to in society. The people that come in will, your plumber or your roofer, they don't come on Tuesday because they had somebody else they had to go to. They'll show up on Wednesday, but then they don't come back on Thursday because they determine what job they go to and what they do. So those factors will come into play into determining whether or not they're an employee or independent contractor. And if you are paying people through a 1099, you really want to have done that analysis
way in advance.
And if you haven't done it yet, do it right now.
Let's keep the conversation going. If you have any questions for Zach, ask him in the comments, or his contact information is in the description. If you have any questions you'd like me to ask Zach or any other professional in their field, my contact information is also in the description, and I'm always available via direct message. See you next week for another cup of coffee and more questions answered.